Listen carefully, because the next 24 hours hold a power most people never sense. Right now the moon is vanishing, retreating into darkness. In that unseen space, nature resets itself. It's not superstition, it's rhythm. Every seed that grows, every tide that shifts, follows this pulse of emptiness before renewal. The new moon is not simply a night sky event. It's an energetic reset woven into the fabric of all living things. In the old Shaolin monasteries, monks would treat this time as sacred. They didn't just observe the moon, they trained with it. Their breathing, their meditation, even their combat practice would adjust to the lunar flow. During the new moon, when the energy of the earth softens, they would turn inward to cleanse the mind, realign their purpose, and sharpen the stillness within. It was believed that if the mind is quiet during this phase, the spirit can hear its next instruction from the universe itself. Most people rush through these days without awareness. They fill the silence with noise, unaware that the cosmos has opened a door right in front of them. But you are not most people. You've come here because a deeper part of you is ready to awaken to the rhythm beneath ordinary time. In this video, I will guide you through 9 crucial Shaolin-inspired rituals you must do before the new moon. Each one will help you cleanse, align, and awaken your inner energy so you can meet the next cycle in full power. These are not symbolic gestures. They are ancient techniques of transformation. I am Shiheng Yi, and I welcome you to Shaolin Soulfire. Stay with me until the end, and together we'll step into the hidden stillness where true strength is born. Subscribe and begin your journey of mastery. Before you begin any inner practice, look around you. The state of your surroundings speaks quietly about the state of your mind. Dust on the table, clothes scattered on the floor, papers piled in corners. These are not just objects. They are echoes of unfinished thoughts, fragments of forgotten emotions, silent reflections of inner noise. In the Shaolin temple, the first task of the morning was always to sweep. Not because the halls demanded perfection, but because the act itself revealed discipline. Each stroke of the broom was a meditation, a reminder the outer world and the inner world are one mirror. When you move the dust outside, you move the dust within. I once asked an elder monk why we cleaned so often when the floor was already spotless. He smiled and said, "The dust never leaves. It only waits for stillness to return." Those words stayed with me, because what he meant was this: chaos is natural. Dust will settle again. Thoughts will scatter again. But our task is not to fight the dust. It is to return to the act of clearing again and again, until the mind learns serenity through repetition. So as this new moon approaches, take a quiet hour and clear the space where you sit, sleep, or think. Handle each item with awareness. Ask yourself, does this belong to the life I am growing into, or to the one I have outgrown? Let go of what no longer carries purpose. As your hands move, notice your breathing. As the room becomes lighter, sense how your chest feels less heavy too. This simple ritual, removing what is not needed, prepares more than the space around you. It reorders the space within you, opening a path for clarity to return. When the body sits still, the breath begins to speak. It tells stories of restlessness, of worry, of forgotten peace. Yet in the Shaolin way, mastery begins here, in the quiet rhythm between inhale and exhale. The monks call it Yi Shin, the one-pointed mind, a state where awareness rests on a single point until all distractions dissolve. In the early mornings of the temple, before the first bell sounded, the courtyard would be silent except for the wind. The monks sat cross-legged, eyes half closed, breath steady and soft. Nothing moved, yet everything was alive. Their power did not come from muscle or motion, but from the stillness that shaped both. This was the training before the training, the discipline behind every strike, every word, every decision. To practice this now, you need no tempo, only a moment of presence. Sit upright, let the spine lengthen, and allow your hands to rest naturally. Feel the cool air enter your nose, the warmth as it leaves. Follow the breath as if tracing a circle, in, out, again and again. The mind will wander. It always does. When it does, do not fight it. Simply return. The returning is the practice. The return is the strength. After a few minutes, the world begins to fade. Thoughts lose their edges, time slows, and the breath becomes a bridge, connecting body, mind, and the unseen energy around you. This is how the Shaolin found balance in chaos, focus amid distraction. They learned that before you can master anything in the outer world, you must first master the invisible flow that sustains life itself. This breath, simple and constant, is the gate to presence, the still center from which all true action arises. There is a saying among the old masters, the enemy unseen is the one that defeats you. In the Shaolin path, the greatest battles are not fought on the training grounds, but within the heart. Before strength can be expanded, the shadows must be faced, those quiet places where fear, regret, and self-doubt hide. During my years at the temple, I saw warriors capable of breaking stones with their hands tremble when confronted with their own anger or guilt. Physical mastery was simple compared to the courage it took to look inward. One master said, "You cannot sweep a floor if you refuse to see the dust. That is shadow work, the discipline of seeing clearly what you would rather turn away from." Tonight, as darkness covers the sky and the new moon hides its light, use the same darkness to look within. Take a candle, a pen, or only your voice and name what weighs on you. The fear you keep buried, the mistake that still echoes, the habit that steals your peace. Speak it softly, without judgment. You are not condemning yourself, you are meeting yourself. In Shaolin teaching, acknowledgement is purification. What is brought into awareness begins to lose its power. The shadow feeds on avoidance, but it weakens in the light of attention. When you see your patterns clearly, you reclaim the energy they once held hostage. The new moon marks a beginning, but no beginning can hold truth if the past remains unexamined. Let this quiet moment become your inner cleansing, not through punishment or guilt, but through awareness and compassion. Only by walking through your own darkness can you stand unshaken in the light that follows. In the quiet hours after cleansing the mind, the path forward begins to take shape. This is the moment to plant the seed of direction, not through idle wishing, but through conscious alignment. In the Shaolin way, clarity is considered sacred. A wandering mind cannot command energy, an unfocused desire dissolves like mist at sunrise. True power arises when thought, word, and action move as one. At the temple, before each season of training, the monks would stand before the abbot and state their purpose aloud. Not a dream, not a hope, but a declaration. One would say, "This season I train the body to move without hesitation." Another, "This season I cultivate patience until it becomes my nature." Each intention was short, precise, and anchored in discipline. The words were not for others to hear, but for the heart to obey. You too must choose with such simplicity. As the new moon approaches, ask yourself, what direction do I wish my energy to flow? Write it down, speak it gently, but speak it as truth, in the present tense, as though it already breathes within you. I live with calm focus. I walk with courage. I act with purpose. These are not wishes, they are alignments. When body, mind, and spirit agree upon a single aim, the universe begins to move in rhythm with it. But the agreement must be pure. No doubt, no hesitation, no divided desire. This is the discipline of a warrior monk, to set intention not from emotion, but from essence. So plant your intention like a seed in freshly cleared soil. Protect it with silence, nourish it with action, and in the coming lunar cycle, watch as the unseen begins to respond to your chosen direction. A vision without movement is like a blade left to rust. Sharp in potential, dull in reality. The Shaolin path teaches that mastery is born, not from grand gestures, but from the quiet repetition of small, deliberate acts. Each motion, each breath, each step becomes a thread in the fabric of transformation. In the monastery, young disciples often believed that enlightenment came through rare moments of revelation. They would hand a student a single task, to carry water up the mountain each morning, and tell him, when your mind stops fighting the bucket, your spirit will begin to rise. Over time, that simple act became more than labor. It became meditation, endurance, devotion. Through repetition, the mundane turns sacred. So now, take the intention you planted and bring it into the world through micro-action. Ask yourself, what is one thing I can do in the next 24 hours that honors this vision? If your intention is calm, perhaps your action is to begin the day in silence. If it is strength, perhaps it is one mindful workout, one meal prepared with focus. Keep it small, but done with full attention. Then, choose one habit to sustain through the lunar cycle ahead. A daily ritual that echoes your deeper aim. A breath practice, a gratitude note, a few minutes of reflection at dawn. Let it anchor you like a monk returning to the mat each morning. The Shaolin way reminds us discipline is devotion made visible. Each small action is a promise kept to the self. And in keeping these promises, the invisible becomes visible, intention becomes form, vision becomes life, and the path of mastery continues, step by step, breath by breath. When the mind drifts too far into thought, the body becomes a stranger. Yet in Shaolin training, body and mind are never separate. One is the reflection of the other. Movement is not merely exercise, it is meditation in motion, the living dialogue between breath and awareness. To move with mindfulness is to return home to yourself. In the early hours of the temple, before words were spoken, the monks would rise and practice slow, flowing forms of Qigong. Each gesture was precise yet effortless, guided by breath rather than will. The hands rose like clouds, the spine unfolded like bamboo, the feet pressed into the earth as if greeting an old friend. Watching them, you would see no tension, no rush, only presence. Their discipline was not in how much they moved, but in how deeply they felt each movement. This is how energy becomes visible. The posture determines the flow. The breath carries intention. The stillness within the movement connects the seen and the unseen. In this space, even the simplest motion, lifting an arm, taking a step, becomes a sacred act of awareness. Now, take a few minutes to explore your own movement. Stretch, walk slowly, or flow through gentle Qigong patterns. Let your awareness travel through your muscles, your spine, your heartbeat. Sense how your breath guides your rhythm and how balance returns when you move without force. This is not about perfection or performance. It is about remembering that wisdom lives not only in the mind but also in the body. Every step, every motion is a conversation with life itself. When you move with mindful discipline, your intention leaves the realm of thought and takes root in the physical world. There is a quiet heaviness that lingers in the heart when emotions remain unspoken and wounds remain unhealed. The Shaolin masters understood that even the strongest body becomes weak if the spirit carries resentment. Emotional purification, they taught, is not indulgence, it is maintenance of the soul. To move forward, one must first unbind what has been knotted within. In the temple, there was a small ritual often performed at dusk. After evening training, the monks would gather in silence and bow, not to one another, but to the unseen weight they wished to release. Each would reflect on the day, a moment of anger, a harsh word, an unfinished thought. They would breathe it out slowly, letting it dissolve into the night air. No discussion, no explanation, just release. The lesson was simple: what you cling to, you serve. What you forgive, you transcend. Tonight, as the new moon empties the sky, let yourself empty too. Bring to mind one emotion, one memory, or one person that still tugs at your peace. Hold it softly in awareness. You do not need to relive it, only recognize that you are ready to be free of it. Then, choose your way of letting go, a quiet breath, a written word, or a gesture of the hands opening to the air. Forgiveness is not approval, it is liberation. You are not erasing the past, you are releasing its hold on your present. The Shaolin path reminds us, mastery is not control, it is flow, and nothing flows where energy is trapped. Let this moment become your cleansing. As the darkness of the moon begins its renewal, so too can your heart. Leave the old where it belongs behind you and step into the new with unburdened grace. Step outside and listen, not with ears alone, but with the quiet awareness that lives in your chest, your hands, your feet. The wind brushes against the skin, the faint chill of night settles, and the moon hides its light. In these subtle moments, the Shaolin masters taught, life speaks not through words, but through rhythm. The cycles of the moon, the movement of the seasons, the rise and fall of the tide. They are not separate from us, they are the very pulse we inhabit. In the temple before dawn, monks would walk the grounds in silence, feeling the earth beneath their feet, sensing the shift of qi as night transitioned to morning. Each breath, each step was attuned to the natural flow. To resist, it was to strain against life itself. To surrender, even briefly, was to rediscover harmony. The lesson was clear. Mastery does not bend nature to your will. It bends your awareness to its pulse. Now, as the new moon darkens the sky, take a moment to align yourself. Stand or sit in quiet. Feel the air moving, the subtle changes in temperature, the stillness that surrounds you. Sense that your body is a mirror of the earth, your mind a reflection of the sky. Whisper quietly or hold in your heart, I align with this cycle. I join the flow. Let it sink in. This is not mere affirmation. It is permission to move with life rather than against it. By tuning into the moon's energy, you are participating in regeneration. You are opening to new possibilities, planting seeds that will grow as nature moves forward. The Shaolin way reminds us that the individual is never isolated. When you move in rhythm with the cycles of the world, your intentions find fertile ground and your spirit resonates with the enduring harmony of life itself. When the body has moved, the breath has settled, and the mind has wandered through its own reflections, there comes a moment that demands nothing but stillness. In the Shaolin and Chan traditions, this pause is not empty. It is full, rich with the weight of awareness. Insight does not emerge in action alone. It blooms in the quiet space between one motion and the next, in the silence that surrounds all effort. At the temple, after a day of training, the monks would sit in the courtyard, legs crossed, hands resting lightly, eyes soft, no sound, no task, no expectation. They would breathe and simply be, allowing the lessons of the day to settle into the body, the mind, and the spirit. In that silence, clarity emerged. A solution to a problem would appear unbidden. A deeper understanding of intention would rise. Even the energy of the new moon could be felt, subtle but alive, guiding the next steps. To practice this now, find a quiet space. Sit upright, letting the spine lengthen naturally, the shoulders release. Close the eyes, soften the gaze, and allow the mind to follow the rhythm of the breath. Reflect on the rituals you have performed, your clearing, your meditation, your shadow work, your movement, your alignment with nature. Sense the energy you have stirred, the intentions you have planted. Then in the stillness, speak your commitment softly, or hold it in your awareness. This is the seal of discipline, the moment where doing transforms into being, where effort becomes embodiment. The Shaolin path reminds us that mastery is not in perpetual motion, but in deliberate pause. By anchoring in silence, you allow every action, every intention, every breath you have taken to merge into a quiet strength. This stillness is not the end, it is the foundation upon which the next cycle, the next movement, the next life unfolds. As we have walked through these 9 rituals, remember that true transformation begins with deliberate action, not with hope alone. From clearing your space to stilling your mind, from facing your shadows to planting intentions, each step is an invitation to align body, mind, and spirit. The new moon is more than a phase in the sky. It is a threshold, a moment to reset, to release, and to plant the seeds of growth within yourself. Take what resonates with you from this practice and bring it into your daily life. Even small moments of mindfulness, reflection, or movement can ripple outward, creating balance, clarity, and renewed energy. The Shaolin path teaches that mastery is not a distant goal. It is cultivated in each conscious breath, in each mindful action, in the courage to face yourself honestly and act with intention. Let this day and every new moon that follows be a reminder that preparation is power, stillness is insight, and alignment is freedom. Step gently into your practice, honor the cycles of nature, and allow yourself to grow into the presence of your own strength and clarity. If this journey resonates with you, join our community of mindful seekers. Subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire for more guidance and carry these rituals into your life with awareness and care. May your path be steady, your spirit aligned, and your heart at peace.